Well, class, we're at the midway point of the season. That can only mean one thing: midterm report cards.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Our Thursday show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can sign up today, bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you'll get $300 back in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. FanDuel, play your game. Happy Thursday to all. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. Because NC State football is on a bye this week, the first of two byes, which is much needed, of course, we're going to get into some midterm report cards. So we will review both the offense and the defense and special teams, and then we'll close out our show today with a locked-on look of the week. It is disgusting. My blood is boiling even just talking about it, but it's important to understand for the rest of the season to come. So without further ado, Kenton, let's get into the offense first. We'll start with quarterback. How would you grade NC State's quarterback play so far with C.J. Bailey?
You know, this is nasty business. It's really nasty business because the grade would have looked much differently before this last game against Notre Dame. But I can't go higher than a B-. I can't do it. I can't do it because there have been some A-plus moments. There have been some legitimate, like, hey, there's 15 guys in the nation that could probably make that play, and we got one of them. There have also been some Denzel Crocker F- moments where, like, for those of you who don't know, it's a fairly odd parents meme. Go ahead.
Very
look it up.
odd parents.
Exactly. Due to knowledge. But anyway, there have been more moments of good than bad. So I lean to B- because if it was 50-50 of like greatest you've ever seen or worst you've ever seen, then I'll take you to a C-, because when you hurt us will always mean more than 2 to 3 plays when you help. Just like in school, you know, you had an A all the way up until you missed one assignment. And now all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I turned in 10. How do I have a B now? It's the same thing there. B- here, B- trending towards a C+, unfortunately, but a B- grade here because, again, there have been more good than bad, but the bad has been terrible. It has been, you know, it's been just real tough.
I am also at a B-. I think you outlined it well. When you're looking at the Duke loss and the Notre Dame loss specifically, it's been so bad that it pulls down the grade pretty significantly. He was also okay against Virginia Tech, but he was not the overall problem, at least in my opinion. So the Duke loss and the Notre Dame loss, you have a combined 6 interceptions in just those 2 games. That pulls your average way down. However, he's thrown for 1,800 yards. His completion percentage is 72%. Both of those numbers are pretty good. He has 14 passing touchdowns. He does have 7 interceptions. He's taken 13 sacks. His QBR for our 7 games so far is 77.2. It's pretty good, but it should be much better. So I have him at a B-. I think y'all probably agree with that one as well. Moving forward, the running back play, Hollywood Smothers and Duke Scott. What do you give them?
Well, I believe it was Lil Jon and the Eastside Boys who coined the term "peace up, A-Town down." I've got to give these guys a solid A. I mean, listen, Hollywood has been phenomenal. Duke Scott has been about what I expected him to be.
Yeah.
They have been knocking it out of the park. And even when, you know, the interesting thing about it is the games that you look at and you're like, oh, they didn't play as well or they didn't do as much. You would look at that game and say, how many holes were missed? That's always what I evaluate running backs by. If I see a terrible running game, I look at the tape and I say, all right, we're not talking about Barry Sanders here, where you got eyes in the back of your head and you know where holes are before they even open up. Just average or slightly above average back. How many holes were missed? I didn't see many. We talked about the Virginia Tech game and how there were times when, you know, for whatever reason, guys just refused to climb to the second level. They were just like, yeah, I'm good. Who blocking linebackers? What is this stuff? What do you think that is? You know, and that deeply hurt us. But even in that game, there were moments where, Hollywood Smothers will create some of the most entertaining 2-yard gains you've ever seen when somebody misses a block, because it's like, oh man, he's still back there razzling and dazzling and making something shake out of nothing. And Duke Scott, he's been good. He's been good. He's been solid. He's been what you need out of a backup running back. He does not fumble the ball. He makes plays when you need him to. He's been good. He's been solid. So I would say a solid A. I won't say A-. I'll say a solid A. The only thing keeping him from an A+ means you got 2 dynamos back there. 2 dynamos. We got 1.25 dynamos back there, with all due respect.
Yeah, we're 2 for 2 in agreement so far. I also have an A for Hollywood and Duke Scott. They have been everything I wanted them to be, and then some. I mean, you had Hollywood Smothers in the top 5 for rushing yards through 6 weeks of the season. I believe he's still now like in the top 15-ish, even after the Notre Dame game. Hollywood Smothers has 112 carries for 739 on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns. Duke Scott, 44 carries, 211 on the ground, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Again, they've been spectacular. In Hollywood, he's been probably the best running back in the ACC. And as I've already told you, he's been a top 15 and up running back in the country. They've been absolutely spectacular. Really could not ask for much more than what they've given you. So I'm also at an A for them. Moving forward, the pass catchers. So we'll group together the wide receivers and the tight end room. What do you have for the pass catchers?
This was very interesting to me because there have been some guys that are better than I expected, some that are worse, some that have, the stuff that doesn't go into the stat sheet really benefits these guys, because Hardy is a heck of a blocker, and we all knew that. We all knew he was going to be. The way that Justin Jolie has stepped up his blocking in this offseason has been nothing short of for the run game, it's been a godsend. If you watch a lot of the running plays that hit to the outside, he's out there reaching guys or putting guys in the ground. And Justin Jolie was always a willing blocker. He always tried. Mm-hmm. The technique was not always there. This year, he is playing like an absolute road grader. And then in terms of the pass catching, I think the tight ends, they haven't had the opportunities. I'll say that. They have not had the opportunities. And so when I look at the receivers, I say the receivers have had the opportunities. And for the most part, they've capitalized. So with the pass catchers overall, I'm going to go with, and I know this last game was not pretty. This last game, guys could not, it was the exact opposite of a 7-Eleven. It was a black barber that's over the age of 65, rarely ever open. For those of you who know, you got to, when he on that retirement tour, you got to catch him when you can. It might be open at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, might not be open on a Saturday, whatever. You do what you got to do to avoid the young bucks with the black gloves in the ring. Like, a little too much inside baseball. But the reality is this. I think that this group, I'd give them a B+, because they've done everything that's been expected of them and a little bit more, and they've been positively impactful. This last game, again, it was tough. It was tough. Guys could not get open. That is a legitimate fact. I am not going to sit here and deny that. But even when there were guys open, we weren't necessarily hitting them, which is why I gave CJ Bailey a B-. There were a couple plays where we had guys where it's like, if we put it on him, he goes and bangs his head on the goalpost. He goes and gets a little sacrilegious with touchdown Jesus. But, we just could not get it done. So I would say a B+, because, again, they've been good, but there's just not enough. It's too much. Terrell Anderson is our wide receiver 1 and all that, but it's too much kind of up and down and all around for us to say that you've been a solid A given some of these performances.
As we say all the time, we don't share our answers with each other before we get on here, but we're 3 for 3. I'm also at a B+. And I think for the pass catchers so far, it's kind of lack of opportunity across the board. Like, if you average out Terrell Anderson and Wesley Grimes and Noah Rogers, Keenan Jackson, they're averaging like 2 catches a game. In fact, Hollywood Smothers has caught more passes than any of the wide receivers. Our leading pass catcher is Justin Jolie. He's a tight end. He's got 30. But Hollywood Smothers is your second leading pass catcher. So opportunity has not been there in flux. But I think when the opportunity has been there, they've been pretty good. I can't think of many drops, maybe like 1 or 2. Nothing crucial, so they've been decent. They've been getting pretty good separation. They haven't been locked down by anyone other than Notre Dame. I thought even against Duke, they played pretty well. Virginia Tech game, the play calling and the aggressiveness was not there. The wide receivers were there, but just didn't get the chance to. So I have them at a B+. I think they've been pretty good. Just need to get more out of them moving forward in the last 5 games. And finally, the offensive line. How do you grade them? Can we go 4 for 4?
I feel like we're not, because the offensive line has had that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde effect too. There have been games where they've been absolute road graders, where they have moved guys and gotten what they wanted. But there have also been games that leave me scratching my head saying, what was that? When do you, in the words of Patrick Ewing, when do you practice that shot? One-legged step back. When do you practice that shot? And so this group, for all of Hollywood's successes and for all of how good they've been at times, there have also been times where you got to quote the Grinch, and that's stink, stank, stunk. And so I think that they'll go in the exact same bit. I think they'll go in the exact same group as CJ Bailey with a B-. I think a B- is exactly where I put them, because again, at their best, some nasty stuff. You watch film and it's just been, and even this is the group that has had the most change go on above what's expected. Wide receiver groups, you expect change in and out. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
You expect that all year long. Lineman groups, you generally do not see a lot of shuffling going on in the season. You've seen a good amount of shuffling, but I believe that the shuffling is getting the best guys on the field. And the reality of this is, man, there have been moments, but it's tough to say a freshman is leading the group, leading the pack, and I'm like, oh, this is an 8 group. And that's no disrespect to Spike Souls. Keep balling, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. But the other guys, Jacarius Peak, you were supposed to step into that lineage of offensive linemen drafted. You were supposed to be the next one in line. It has not been there. Teague Anderson, brother, stalwart. We need a big physical guy on that right side. We need a power guy on that right side. It has not been there. We've seen a lot of goofy mistakes in terms of some of the penalties and whatnot, or some of the things that we'll get into later this episode where it leaves you scratching your head. On the interior, there's been a lot of movement around in there and some injury as well. So I would say all in all a B-.
4 for 4. I also have B-, and kind of just extending a little bit further. When you have the success of Hollywood Smothers at the rate that we've had it, he doesn't get all of that without the offensive line showing up and punching in their time clock. So I thought they've done a really good job in most of the games, especially in run blocking. Pass blocking, it's been kind of here, it's been kind of there. I think on the whole, it's been decent. It's been pretty good. I think the majority of the sacks that CJ has taken, holding on to the ball too long, doesn't read the field very well, and he kind of runs himself into a sack more often than not. So I wouldn't put all of that on the offensive line. But again, it's been kind of here, it's been kind of there. They've been pretty good. There's times they've been pretty bad. I have them at a B-, and in fact, I think they've performed even better than I kind of thought they would coming into the season. So we have 4 for 4 in agreement on offense. Coming up next, we'll get into defense and special teams. This comes after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first Thursday sponsor is SupplyHouse. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow from over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times will keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. If you need parts fast for a project, SupplyHouse has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. Their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and their dedicated phone support line, they make the whole process smoother. So join their Trademaster program today for free and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated phone support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off of your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Our second Thursday sponsor is FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If that $5 bet wins, you'll get $300 back in bonus bets guaranteed. Yes, that's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if that thing hits, $300 back in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football that much more exciting when you've got a little something extra riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or you just love diving into stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel, Play your game. Middle portion of our Thursday show, switching gears and talking about the defense. Our defensive midterm report cards will start with the defensive line. Kenton, what do you have?
All right. I already know, based on the grades I'm about to give out, people are going to say, oh, you're being so nice to the defensive line. You're a former defensive lineman. That's why you're so nice to them. Yeah, whatever. You've seen the film. You've seen the film. Grayson, who would you say have been the best defensive players this year in terms of just overall impact? Like, hey, this guy is better than the average replacement we could fill in. If you had to give me two guys, and again, me and Grayson did not discuss this on there. Grayson, who would you say? Who are the two?
I mean, it's obvious. It's Kean Sloan and Sebastian Harsh.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give this group a solid C. And here's why I'm going to say a solid C. Sloan and Harsh have been fantastic. Defensive lines, a good defensive line, two really good players do not make. These two would have to be great. And by great, I mean like these two would have to be waiting for a very short time in the green room in order to make this defensive line viable, because on the interior, other than the thick six, Grayson, give me one highlight from our defensive tackles. Give me one big play that you're like, our inside guys, this is a highlight that I remember from them this year.
I mean, Brandon Cleveland he's been on the field. I don't know if he's been as impactful as we hope, but I think that's your answer.
So the outside guys have been good. They've been really, really good. They're two guys. The best defensive lines, and I'm not kidding, watch the best defensive lines. They do not have just two guys. They come in waves. Because if you only got two guys, the offense knows we can take a rest or we can take those big shots when they're off the field. We need more than Harsh and Sloan. So I'm going to say a C, and I'm going to leave it right there. I was veering towards a C minus. I was veering towards it, but I said, you know what? I'm going to let y'all have that C minus.
We are 5 for 5. I'm also sitting at a C, and I will note that this is being heavily pulled up by the play of Harsh, of Sloan, and I think it's sometimes Trevally Price. I actually tied for first with Harsh with 2.5 sacks on the team. I think that is in the last couple games as well. Price is kind of leveling up his game. When you look at Sloan having the game-winning pick against UVA, that's going to pull your average up. Yeah, I have them at a solid C. Taking one step backward now, linebackers, what's your grade?
I'm going to say this now because I know somebody's going to say, but we have two of the leading tacklers in the country. You are under spells, people. Stop letting them tackles fool you. That's what we like to call empty calories. I don't give a damn if you get a tackle 5 yards down the field on 3rd and 4 in a zone that was yours to cover. I do not care. So I'm going to rate this group as a D. I'm going to rate them as a D. Too many moments where I'm stuck scratching my head saying, what are you doing? It's frustrating a little bit because it leaves me wondering. And let me make one thing clear that I've said this on there before. I was not the perfect player. I was not some Superman. I spent more time on IR than on the field. So let's make that clear. Get that out the way right now. This is not a situation where I'm saying, oh, I've done all these things at a high level. What I will say is this. You have to know alignment and assignment. Those two things more important than anything else. Alignment and assignment, and then you go execute, right? How many times have we seen the alignment and assignment be there, but the execution just not?
Too many.
From this linebacker group. I remember the play against Duke where they iced it, and their running back is like, should I stay up or should I go down? That particular was a play that will always stick with me because we watched our player do it wrong. And then, quick question, Grayson, who do we play after Duke?
Virginia Tech.
And did they or did they not have a linebacker that had 10-plus tackles with multiple tackles for loss in that game?
They did.
They did. And there was a literal identical play where our offense ran an identical scheme to what Duke did in that game. And the only difference, they basically ran the same thing we did. Do you know what the only difference in that play was? And this was the 4th down stop that really turned the momentum of that game. You want to know what the difference was? Their linebacker decided, wait a minute, this 4th is short. There's a hole open. I'm going to go bring the front to somebody. And then all of a sudden, the entire pace and tenor for the game, the tone and tenor of the game changed for the entire night, as opposed to our guys who are like, oh, I'm going to wait for somebody to bring some music to me. I'm going to just stand here, and I'm going to be in my hole, and I'm going to be in his hole, and oh, no, I can't get back in my hole. They've sealed me off. It's just a D. A D is what I give this group. And again, if you come into these comments telling me, hey, these are the leaders in tackles or whatever the case may be, I'm going to tell you, watch the film. And I'm going to give you exact second markers to show you, hey, a decent linebacker makes this play and ours did not.
Believe it or not, we are still in lockstep. I'm at a D. And I want to echo what Kenton said about the tackle count. Don't let that fool you, because the reason it's so high is not a good thing. It's because we're on the field too long. And in fact, it's also because we missed a lot of tackles and somebody else got to clean up the mess. So don't look at the chart and say, wow, Caden Fordham's leading the country in tackles. It's not a good thing. Trust us. It's not a good thing. In addition to being in position and not making the play, there's also been a ton of times where we've been out of position and clearly not made the play. So the linebackers this year, it's been bad. And we're also dealing with injury now. Sean Brown is injured, did not play in the Notre Dame game. I guess we'll see what that means for the rest of the season, but we are both very thin and very young in the linebacking room. And I hate to say this, it could get worse. Like, it actually could get worse the rest of the way because of those two things. We have very good offenses we have to play in the next couple weeks. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of confidence that's going to get cleaned up anytime soon. So I'm sitting at a D. I hate to say it, but hey, we're going to call a spade here. A D for the linebackers. Now, the DBs. We'll see if we actually differ on this one. DBs, what do you have?
You know, I was torn on this one because we talk about alignment, assignment, and then execute a lot. And the thing is, this group's execution has not been bad, which leaves me with the thought of, DJ Elliott, is there an unwritten rule that I don't know about that keeps these defensive backs at 4 yards or deeper? Is there an unwritten rule? Like, did you see something that we just don't know about that said, like, hey, I'm not putting y'all closer than 4 yards to the line of scrimmage. I cannot do it. Everybody, somewhere between 5 and 8. That's where I need y'all at all times. Because those zones are so soft, it guarantees that players are going to have pretty much free passage to do certain things on the field, that it puts your defense under more stress. However, when they were asked to execute, they've done a fairly decent job of it. I would say our best DBs, and again, I know many people are going to disagree with me on this because they're going to be all, oh, he gets beat a lot. He gets beat a lot. Well, he's also generated two of our only 3 turnovers in the secondary, Ronnie Royal. And Jamel Johnson has probably been our best guy, because I don't know why everybody doesn't play like him, but I'm sorry, I'm 8 yards deep. Yeah, I'm going to jump that route. And if I'm wrong, it's okay. I can collision you. I'm at 8 yards. So Jamel Johnson's play kind of brings down this group because he's playing how I think a DB should play if they're forced to play that deep, which tells me the rest of these guys are just like, they either don't trust themselves or they don't have the coach's trust to do it. Either way you cut it or slice it, I'm torn between the C- and the D+. I don't know which one I prefer to go with, because neither one of these two grades are good. But if I had to go one, simply based off of the lack of statistical production and the fact that we have not shut down or made game-changing plays against the best passing games, I'm going to have to go with a D+ here. D+ for me.
I'm at a C-, so we have finally differed, but it's not that big of a difference here. I'm at a C-. It's just been average, and Kenton highlighted a lot of it. They're played such soft coverage, and they're giving up a lot of underneath routes, and, well, Notre Dame was able to pick you over the top, but since the ECU game, it almost looks like they're waiting to get burned, and then it doesn't happen, but they still give up every single thing underneath, and you still give up 1,000,000 yards. So while they haven't been burned, and I guess that would bring the grade down even further, it's just you want so much more out of this group. And we even talked ourselves into this group coming into the season. I don't know. Some of these additions, they might be better than what we think. They could be a strength of this defense. They have not been. It's been the defensive line. Even that has also been average. So It's a C- for me. They're going to have a lot more opportunity to pick this grade up, I will say. They're going to have to face Carson Beck. They're going to have to face Castellanos, the Dirty Foot Club. So they're going to have to pull it up, though. They're going to have to actually put in the legwork and pull up that grade. But yeah, I have them at a C-. It's been pretty average. Last but certainly not least, the play of special teams. How would you grade them?
Grayson, I'm glad you did your Denzel Crocker impression because I need another one, please. You shouldn't have put it on tape, Grayson. Now I need another one. Give me your best Denzel Crocker.
Very good appearance.
F- F- for special teams. F-. I'm not joking. I am not. The only thing that has been at times redeemable about special teams is we have that sweet golden right leg of Caden Noonkester, which even that at times is like, hey, did we just punt a 35-yarder? We really could have used a big field flipper there, and it doesn't happen. We continue to, and again, I want to make this clear. I think that this kid has potential. I think he can be special here. I specifically talked about he's added so much at the slot. We continue to trot out Teddy Hoffman as our leading punt returner after multiple muffs and multiple times of fair catching inside the 10. Listen, I get it. Everybody thinks that the special teams units are so much better that like you may have to take more risk to prevent bad things from happening. I promise you, the reality of do I want a freshman at the 5 trying to field a punt, or do I want to give a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds the opportunity to blunder it up and they go into the end zone? If you ask me which one I want, I'll put the onus on them to do it right. Put the onus on them to do it right. Give me the out. And if they get it right, we'll be on the 1. Whatever. It is what it is. I'll live with that. But between that and between our kicking game, I mean, our kicking game has left so much to be desired. It legitimately had me staring at a picture of Kyle Bambard like, oh, we didn't have it that bad. We never had it that bad. Standing outside of Nicholas Sadie's house with a boombox singing Baby Come Back as if he's not out of eligibility. You understand? That's how bad it's gotten for special teams. There's nothing that we've done on special teams that's been really good except Terrell Anderson scoring a touchdown on his first ever return, which got called back. And that doesn't mention, mind you, I haven't even gotten to our kick coverage yet. Kick coverage. Even when we finally get off a kick without it being blocked or without the snap being messed up or something like that, it's been horrendous. We got a block against Duke when they were rushing 4. They were in their safe unit and they got a block off us. So F-. One of the worst special teams units I've ever seen. And Coach Goebel has not, I'm not going to put this on solely his jacket because he's been the special teams coach for years and it's never been nearly this bad. But boy, we cannot have another year like this special teams.
It has been shockingly bad. And this is a unit that has usually been pretty good under Coach Goebel at NC State. So it's been horrible. I mean, it's an F. When you talk about penalties on 4th down, blocked field goals, we've actually only attempted 6 field goals the whole season. We have not attempted a field goal since that Duke game. We haven't tried in a month. And whether that's lack of confidence or lack of opportunity, even that when we've done it has been bad. Kicking off to Cam Ross for UVA after he had just won Specialist of the Week in the ACC. What are we doing? Fielding punts inside the 5 or inside the 10, possibly trying to catch it at the 1. What are we doing? It's been so uncharacteristically awful. They look like they haven't been coached, which isn't true. So it's like, what's really going on here? Shockingly bad. So that is an F for me. That will do it for our grades. We've done the offense, we've done the defense, and the special teams. We're going to round out our Thursday show with a locked on look of the week. This also might receive an F. More on this after a quick word from our sponsors. Our Thursday sponsor is Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than just simply move. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat out all the details. Mazda brings this very same approach into how they craft each and every model. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship inside every detail, from the metallic accents to the available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like players, Mazda sweats out every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Last couple minutes of our Thursday show. Now time for the Locked On Look of the Week. This goes back to the Notre Dame game. It's a bad play. Buckle up. Here we go. We are in disagreement once again because this was an F- on a lot of fronts.
A lot of fronts. You know, I talk a lot about is it coaching, is it execution, and all that good stuff. And this was one of those moments where I give Roper his flowers because he called a pretty good play call to go against what we're seeing here. Not perfect by any means, but a pretty good play call. So Notre Dame is running a cover one man blitz. If it's cover one, it is man, but you know, I just had to let y'all know that it's a cover one blitz. Okay. So the safety is going to be responsible for Justin Jolie. Depending on which side of the field he's on, tells whichever safety to have him. So as you can see, there are two dotted navy blue lines pointing to Justin Jolie because those safeties have him. Now here's what Kurt Roper does to help out his young quarterback. What is the mechanism that most offenses use to figure out whether or not it's man or zone pre-snap, Grayson?
That would be putting somebody in motion.
Putting somebody in motion. Again, this is a baseball guy, this Grayson Boone, and even he knows when you put somebody in motion, you figure out whether or not it's man or zone. Now watch me get some inside baseball here because Grayson may not know this part. You can tell whether or not it's man or zone, not just because the defense adjusts, because the defense can adjust in man or zone. However, when a defender or a defensive back follows a receiver to a certain point, that's when you know, it is man. As the safety started out in the beginning of this play, the safety with the towel on his hip that is closer to the line of scrimmage when they break the huddle is closer to the line of scrimmage. The safety without the towel is looking to be the single high guy. When Jolie goes in motion, the safety with the towel is now the deep middle guy. But Grayson, look at how wide Justin Jolie is. He is outside of the hash marks, and we all know college hash marks are a lot wider than the NFL, and he's still in motion. And is number 8 stopping, or is number 8 still is still following him?
He's still moving, but kind of slower.
He's still following him, which means it is man because he didn't stop at a landmark. He didn't see, oh, wait a minute, I'm getting too much width. I have a zone to attack. So that tells the quarterback this is man. It is man 1 across the board. KVA has Duke Scott and this outside, and the other backer is blitzing. They're bringing this other outside linebacker on an outside blitz. He is going to be the outside guy. The defensive end, number 5, is going to be stunning inside. The defensive tackle or nose guard in the A gap is going to be trying to get through that A. The backside defensive tackle is trying to get through the B. The backside defensive end, number 44, is trying to keep an edge on the outside. Okay? Now, as I said, Kurt Roper sent Justin Jolie in motion, which he should have done. It gives man read. Now, almost every route concept where you have 3 receivers on the same side follows one simple concept. You've got one going up, you've got one going in, and where do you think the other direction is, Grayson?
Out.
Correct. We've got one going out. Justin Jolie is our out guy. This is the spot concept. So I believe that's Wesley Grimes at the top there with the corner playing off. He's going to be getting to the first down and stopping, settling on the inside there. And the inside receiver, which I believe is Keenan Jackson, is going to be running a corner route with Noah Rogers running a shallow crosser across the field. And here's the best part about this. This is why I say Kurt Roper called a really good play to go against this. Kurt Roper calls a sprint right spot. Sprint right, tight end in motion, spot play. Okay? Spot concept, right? Here's the part where I say Kurt Roper did an excellent job. Against this blitz, if everybody does what they're supposed to do, Duke Scott seals the edge with help from his tackle. Everybody, when you have a sprint, when you tag sprint on any concept, that means that you're rolling to whatever side that is, which means everybody on the offensive line should be sprinting to get in front of the quarter, help set the edge, and give the quarterback some time to throw the ball or even potentially make the decision to tuck it and run. I know some of you are thinking, how did we get here? I'll tell you how we got here. For whatever reason, when number 5 goes inside, Teague Anderson goes with him. Brother, it is a sprint protection. You are supposed to be, oh, great, the guard's got him now. I've got to help out my running back with this linebacker, number 19. Because as you can see, number 5 is still coming free as well. Well, actually, this is later in the play because CJ has had quite some time rolling after this, or to get to this point. But the defensive line is closing. Literally every defensive lineman is closing because it's been a while. 27 had man on Duke Scott. Now that he recognizes Duke is still blocking 3 seconds into the play, this is not what a screen would look like. By this point in time, he would have already released. He is now going to start to drop back a little bit while he's in front of Teague Anderson, who got hands on him earlier in the play. Grayson, what are those 2 lines on the screen representing?
That'd be the tackle box or the pocket.
The tackle box or pocket. Now, what's illegal to do in the tackle box that's legal to do outside the tackle box, Grayson?
Get rid of the ball. Can't just throw it out of bounds. That's grounding.
Exactly. You can't throw it away in the tackle box. That's grounding. When you get outside that box, give a kid a souvenir. More power to you, right? Now, the tackle boxes in this one, I'd say just about half a yard, maybe a foot inside the left hash, and it's at least a good 3-ish yards inside the right hash. Maybe 2.5, 3 yards inside the right hash. Grayson, in this frame, is CJ Bailey inside or outside the tackle box?
He is well outside.
Well outside the tackle box. But I want you to look to the left there, Grayson. All CJ Bailey has to do at this point, because to Notre Dame's credit, they did a fantastic job. CJ Bailey had the flat right away. If he was decisive and knew, hey, they're playing off of Justin Jolie, I'm going there right now, he would have hit him. But you know what happened instead? He pulled down and he hesitated. So that safety then closes what was an open slot because nobody else could get open. CJ Bailey's holding the ball, pat, 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 pat. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on here. Ultimately, CJ Bailey throws up a lame duck that's picked off. Now, Grayson, this linebacker was just at the line of scrimmage in front of Teague Anderson. How did he get to that ball? Because not only was it not thrown with intentionality out of bounds, it just kind of floated in the air. It just kind of – CJ, you have to be better than this. You have to be better than this. We could give you the excuse of you're a freshman last year. If I saw Will Wilson do this, I'd say, he's a freshman. You know, live and let live. He'll figure it out. CJ, you are a sophomore now. You have got to grow up. This is your team now. You have got to grow up. I understand. And by the way, it only got worse for CJ from here because as you can see, Duke Scott is committing a holding against 19. 5 is coming free. 97 is coming free. 44 is coming free. 47 is coming free. And let me not say coming free. Let me correct that. They've beaten their blocks because there has been a good amount of time elapsed because CJ has held the ball and rode closer to the sideline and deeper. CJ, if you're going to do that, you have to be prepared for, hey, I'm going to have to get rid of this ball off my back foot. I'm going to have to get rid of this ball when I cannot put everything into it in terms of my footwork. So you have to be better about putting some mustard on it to get it out of bounds. Instead, we get 27 taking the ball back. And where does he take the ball back to, Grayson?
About the 20.
About the 20. Now, Grayson, what was the result of Notre Dame's next offensive drive?
Now, this was the drive that Ja'Jarian Price actually fumbled on the goal line. So we get the ball back, and then we committed a safety.
What happened to us? We committed a safety. Now, Grayson, let's say for kicks and giggles, the exact same sequence occurs, but the only difference is CJ Bailey throws this ball into the third stands, into the third row, right? What happens if CJ Bailey fumbles the snap from under center when he threw one into the third row and Caden Noonkester got to get a punt off from about his 20?
You got to make Notre Dame drive the whole field.
You got to make Notre Dame drive the whole field. And if Ronnie Royal forces a fumble again about 4 to 5 plays into their drive, What then happens? NC State gets the ball back in amazing field position. I'm not saying, hey, this play cost us the game. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if you reverse the outcome of this one play to him throwing it away, everything in the world is saved and the good guys win at the end of the episode. What I am saying is this is the type of stuff when I say CJ at his best, there are not 15 other quarterbacks in the nation that can do what he does. CJ at his worst, there are not 15 other quarterbacks who would make that same terrible decision to do what he does. Because everybody and their mama knows I'm outside the tackle box. Everything's dead. Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it the hell away. But instead, we get KVA, And I get it. Away, KVA, they kind of rhyme. I get it. They're not the same. They're not the same. Throw it away. You're at the Wolfpack sideline. Throw it to one of those staffers. Throw it to whoever your favorite trainer is. Throw it to Smoke over there in equipment. By the way, shout out to Smoke. Great guy. Throw it to somebody over on our sideline. Throw it to one of the good guys. Don't let a Golden Domer get his hands on it.
Throw it out of the stadium for all I care. Just throw it where they can't get it. It is completely unacceptable to just float this ball into the abyss, watch a linebacker come down with it, and then advance the ball back into our red zone. You cannot make that mistake. And unfortunately, this is not the first time this season that he's done it. He almost did it a couple times against Virginia Tech as well, except he just got tackled out of bounds or just ran out of bounds. I don't know what it is that CJ thinks that he can't just throw this ball away. I put that on coaching, as I said a couple days ago. This cannot be allowed any longer. This is an F- of a play. Luckily, it didn't cost a touchdown, although Notre Dame ended up tacking on a lot more after this play elapsed. But this is brutal, and this has got to get cleaned up ASAP.
That one play, it's a small thing, right? I say this all the time, but it's the parable of the blacksmith. The blacksmith forgets to mold the horseshoe. Without the horseshoe, the horse can't ride. Without the horse being able to ride, the horse can't deliver the message saying fortify the East. You can't fortify the East, you lose the war. It's that simple. It's that simple. All because the blacksmith didn't do his job. As much credit as we give CJ Bailey for making phenomenal plays and being Superman at times, sometimes the most important thing that Superman can do is not hurt the rest of the Justice League. Sometimes that's it. Just, hey, I got to trust Batman to do his thing. I got to trust Wonder Woman to do her thing. I got to trust Green Lantern. We'll never want to trust Green Lantern unless it's John Stewart. Never mind. We ain't going to go there right now. But I've got to trust my folks to do that thing. You can always trust the Flash. It don't matter if it's Wally West. It don't matter if it's Barry Allen. It don't matter. You can always trust them. But you've got to let your guys do their thing. You have to trust that if I throw this ball out of bounds, Caden's going to get us a good punt and put us in good field position. And the defense is going to do good enough. Even if they haven't played well all year, they stood on their heads for 35 minutes against Notre Dame. 35 minutes of standing on their damn heads, and we gave them precious little offensively. So, sometimes, again, Superman has to delegate. He has to trust Martian Manhunter to go do his job. You can't do it all.
Very well said. That will do it for us here on Thursday. As always, thank you all so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. Mash that subscribe button if you have not already. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Friday for more. And until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.